கீதிகா ப்ரேயர் சாங் எல்லாமே ரெடி இல்லையாம்மா?
எஸ் மேம்.
எஸ் ஓகே. ஜஸ்ட் ஜாயின் பண்ணிடலாங்க இப்போ. So within 2 minutes guest join பண்ணிடுவாங்கம்மா. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon, sir. We can start the program now, sir. Sir, your voice is, I think, is not audible, sir.
Not. Is it okay now?
Is it okay, sir? Is it now okay, sir?
Okay.
Shall we start the program now, sir?
Yes, please. You have some introduction.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What?
we have welcome MOC team, sir.
Fine.
Ajira ma'am, can we start, ma'am?
Ma'am, Jayanti ma'am, yes ma'am, we'll proceed ma'am. Sir,
Yes,
welcome
ma'am.
sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon sir.
Good afternoon.
MOC team?
Yes, ma'am. Shall I start, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am. Sure.
Yes, ma'am. Gratitude is twofold love coming to visit us and love running out to greet our welcome. May your afternoon be filled with light, love, and happiness. Warm good afternoon to everybody. Our only limitations are those we set up in our own mind. I welcome you all to this webinar on safe banking. Now, on behalf of our management, I feel gratitude in welcoming our Honorable and respected Secretary, Dr. B. Vanitha ma'am, Principal Dr. J. Ratinamala ma'am, Vice Principals and Deans and heads of the departments and all the faculty members of KG College of Arts and Science. A man who wants to lead the orchestra must turn his back on the crowd. Now, I feel great pleasure in welcoming our chief guest, Mr. Nagarajan Subbu sir, retired Indian Bank Senior Manager, Freelance Consultant, Cyber Security. My hearty welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And not the least, thank you, sir. And not the least, I welcome all the students to this auspicious event. Prayer is the breath, the watchword, the comfort, the strength, the honor of a Christian. Now, I call Hidaprabha of 3rd BCom PA to give a prayer song.
Atma Ramananda Ramana, Atma Ramananda Ramana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Achyuta Keshava Hari Narayana, Bhavabhaya Harana, Vandita Charana, Bhavabhaya Harana, Vandita Charana, रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन, रघुकुल भूषण राजीव लोचन, आदि नारायण आनंद शयन, आदि नारायण आनंद शयन, सच्चिदानन्द श्री सत्यनारायण सच्चिदानन्द श्री सत्यनारायण आत्मा रामानन्द रमण आनन्द रमण आनन्द रमण. Thank you.
Thank you, Hudaprada. Speak only endearing speech. Speech it is welcome. Speech when it brings evil to others is a pleasant thing. Now I welcome Ms. S. Nasira Begum ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, PA, to give a welcome address.
Thank you, Ma. Good afternoon to one and all present here. It's my privilege to extend a warm welcome to you all. I welcome our esteemed chief guest of the day, Mr. Nagarajan Subbu sir, retired Indian Bank Senior Manager, freelance consultant cybersecurity, who have accepted our invitation. Thank you, sir, for coming over for this session. My hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
I extend my warm welcome to our most respected secretary, Dr. B. Vanitha ma'am, and our beloved principal, Dr. J. Rathinamala ma'am, to this virtual session. I also welcome our respected vice principal, academics, Dr. P. Krishnapriya ma'am, and respected vice principal administration, Dr. N. Ishwaran sir, to this wonderful session. And I also extend my heartfelt welcome to our deans of various domains, head of the department, Dr. R. Kanchana ma'am, and all the faculty members of Commerce Professional Accounting Department. My hearty welcome to all the energetic students of Commerce Professional Accounting Department. Once again, I welcome you all for this virtual session.
Thank you, ma'am. Let no one discourage your ambitious attitude. You don't need a club to achieve your goal. Be your own motivation. Now, I welcome Ms. Jayanti ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, PA, to give a chief guest introduction.
Thank you, Kritika. Happy to all.
Thank you, ma'am.
First, I am giving my thanks to our chief guest for accepting the invitation. Mr. Nagarajan Subbu sir, retired manager, Indian Bank, freelance consultant, cyber security. Really, I am very honored to introduce such an experienced person for this webinar. On the way of his learning, BSc Madras University, CAIIB, Indian Institute of Bankers, Mumbai, PGDCA in Bharatidasan University, CISA, ISA, CA, USA, and CBCP, that is Certified Business Continuity Professionals, CIA, and IIA, USA, Certified Internal Auditor, then BCCP, Singapore, BS 27001, UK, and CMFD in NISM, CDPEP, that is NSDE. So he gained more knowledges from these. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. That is Benjamin Franklin said. Exactly. Organization served. Senior Manager, Indian Bank, 29 years. Strategic Manager, Indian Bank, Housing Limited, 2 years. Deputy General Manager at SIFI Technologies Limited, 5 years. And Senior Faculty, Corporate Trainer, IFBI, 6 years. Freelance Consultant, Cyber Security. A place for everything and everything in its place. Sir visited nearly 9 countries for his project. He visited faculty of many colleges, and he also actively participated in Sun TV, Nila TV, and Sun News TV, Kalangana TV for banking-based program. It's important to be a person honor. To be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is an honor. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Every thought you produce, anything you say, any action you do, it bears your signature. Now I feel pleasure in welcoming our honorable chief guest, Mr. Nagarajan Subbu sir, retired Indian Bank Senior Manager, freelance consultant, cyber security, to take over the session.
Thank you so much. I am very glad to have myself associating with you all, and that too in the weekend when students are very eager to celebrate their week. and I don't want to take much of your time. However, this session certainly will be of much useful, and it will be of very handy for your day-to-day operations. To start with, when the topic was chosen by me as safe banking, a doubt might have arisen in the minds of some of you. What is a safe banking? We heard so many other banking, retail banking, wholesale banking, investment banking, merchant banking, technology banking. What is this safe banking? If there's such a word, safe banking is there, means, is there anything unsafe banking? Yes, there are different types of saving, unsafe banking are all there. But to start with, we will go ahead with the safe banking, what we mean by safe banking. As you all know, some 25 years ago, the Indian banking was only done on manual basis. When it was slowly switched over to computerization, a lot of channels started coming in. Earlier, we have only a branch banking. Subsequently, it was having some kind of an extension counter in a particular center like a railway station, airport, or a mall, etc. Only the branch banking was there for all transaction. We have to go there during the defined time and get our services. But now, after the introduction of computer, after the introduction of CBS, that is core banking solution, we can do our transaction 24/7. Not only one channel is a branch banking, but also through ATM banking, through phone banking, through mobile banking, through internet banking, or it is also called online banking, and mobile banking. And under mobile banking, there are so many applications that started coming like UPI, BIM, etc., etc. Day in, day out, this banking has expanded, and the technology has almost taken over the bank. Without technology, there can't be any more banking at all. So when we started operating banking through these channels, whether we are safe? No, we are not at all safe. Then how we can go ahead? That is the main objective of this program. Let us take only 3 areas of this banking channel, because this 1 hour, whatever is been given, is not sufficient to cover all this area. But majority of us are using only these maximum 3 channels: internet banking, ATM banking, and mobile banking. So let us see what are the issues are there, what are the things that we need to look into it. To start with, we will go with internet banking. So when internet banking, naturally we need to go through either a PC or a laptop or a iPad or a mobile phone. So when we want to do a banking through online or the internet, what are the things that we need to look into? Number 1, do not use public computers to log in. That means what? If the computer is in your home or in your office or in your restricted environment, that is to somewhat it is secure. But if you are using a mobile or a computer or a laptop in a public environment, say for example in an airport, in a railway station, in a mall, with the availability of Wi-Fi services, if you start operating, the risk is more. Anyone can hack into this. Look at this picture. A girl is looking at her mobile. The culprit who is sitting by her can easily access her mobile through his Wi-Fi, because this public Wi-Fi is not completely secure. That is why whenever you are working, since we are getting a Wi-Fi free, we thought we can work on it. We can see some of the unimportant items. But if you wanted to do your banking through Wi-Fi in a public place, please be note that you are subject to high risk. So what should you do? Next one, ensure the website is secure. So when you are going through a banking site, whatever the site, whether it's ICICI Bank or Indian Bank or a State Bank of India or a HDFC, the site looks like this: https://www.securesite.com or whatever, ICICI.com or SBI.com or IndianBank.com or Dentin, whatever it may be. Please ensure whether the site is secure or not. How to ensure? If you can see the URL, that is a word that we are typing, this is letters that through which we are accessing that particular website. There you will find a HTTPS. You can see from the picture here, the unsecured site, if you can see, HTTPS is not there. That means if you are accessing through this HTTP without S, without a security, then whatever you type in that particular website, when it goes through the network, it is not encrypted and it is subject to hacking. So before entering into any website, before entering your username and password, ensure that this is a secure website. So number one, you have to see whether it is HTTPS. S means security. Side by side, you can see a green padlock in the URL. That itself shows that it is secure one. To check furthermore, click that lock. It will open with a window where it will say a certificate is issued for this site and it is a secured site. The certificate is valid from this date to that date. If it is there, then you can rest assured that that site is a secured site and you can enter your transaction. If you find that there is no yes, and if you find there is no padlock, and if the padlock, if you open it, it says that expired certificate, then it is unsecured. You are not supposed to enter any transaction on it. 3. Never access bank website from a link provided in email from non-reliable sources. The example here, if you can see the picture, you have got a mail from somebody and it says that you should look at this environment because it's a hyperlink. And if you click that hyperlink, it will go to that particular site, environment site. But whether it is a reliable site or not, we don't know. Only a specialist can identify whether this site is a reliable or not. So whenever there is a message comes and you have been asked to click that link, you are running a risk. So never access a bank website through a link that has come in a mail. It may look as if the same, ICICI.com, but an expert can find out there may be a small spelling mistake or a format may be different, but an ordinary man may not be knowing it. So it is advisable not to click the link which has come through SMS or through mail. The example which has been given here, if you click this environment, it will go to some other site and it will not take you the real banking site. So what should be done? Whenever you want to go for a website, type out the web address of the particular bank, https://ICICI.com. Like that, you type out the URL in the web page, then you can go inside. So don't click the link. This is applicable not only for mail, it is also applicable for the SMS that you receive. Generally, we have been directed to click that link and we are tempted to do it. When you do it, not only it takes you to a wrong site, but also sometimes it will inject a kind of a virus into your system, a spyware into a system. From that time onwards, your entire system is in the hands of somebody who has sent the mail. Next, never use the browser option to remember password. So whenever you go to the website for doing some transaction, it may ask you, remember me, but don't click that one. don't hesitate to type out the web addresses every time. So generally we tend to click that one so that when we wanted to type the first letter itself, automatically it picks up the other item, because this is called autocomplete. See the right side of this area, we can see when you type out T, it started taking out Texas, New York Times, Tokyo, Thailand, like that. Whatever the words start with that, it will open. Though it may look very helpful for you, but it is not advisable to use that one. Always type out the exact URL by your hand, and try to disable this autocomplete function in your browser. If you are not doing it, you are running risk. Next one, go to settings option of browser to clear browser cache history after each section, because whenever you enter into any website, automatically on the back of it, a history is created. Today I have seen Google, I have seen Yahoo, I have seen ICICI Bank, like that. Whatever the URL I had typed out, all access which I have made during this past time will be available in the history. So this may help the hacker to find out which URL you have gone. From there they can hack you. So it is always better to clear the browser cache history after each section. There is an option is there. If you can see there, the number 1, you can see on the top of the right of that, there will be some 3 lines. You click it, it will come down. Then settings will be there, and settings you can go there and clear all those things. Is it, sir, every time I should do? Yes. If you do it, you are safe. Otherwise, what will happen? Whatever the transaction that you do, it will be available in the back end. Anyone who access your system can easily hack it. Next, beware of pop-up windows that ask for your account number and all. When you work in a system, in a mobile phone, in a laptop, in a tab, you can find out some kind of a pop-up menu will come up from the bottom, either in the right side or in the left side of the bottom. It will come up a pop-up and ask you to click the pop-up. Never ever click this pop-up, because if you click the pop-up, some viruses are attached to it, and it will directly go to the registry or system and do all kinds of sabotage to you. So generally, login pages are always on a web page and never in a pop-up window. So don't log through this pop-up window. In fact, you can even prevent this pop-up window. We are prepared to buy an elephant, but we are not prepared to buy a small instrument which controls elephant, which we call as Angusa. So when we are buying lakhs of rupees for a elephant, but we don't normally buy an Angusa which costs about 100 rupees or 200 rupees, because that is a small instrument which controls an elephant. So also for any instrument, whether it's a PC or a laptop or a mobile, we spend about even lakh of rupee for getting things done, but we don't go for an antivirus. It costs about only thousands. So please remember, whether it is a mobile phone or it is any other instrument, use licensed antivirus. Buy a one. Don't go for a freeware. Don't go for any free antivirus, because this antivirus free virus itself will inject those masalas into your computer. Always go for a licensed antivirus, anti-spyware. And you can also adjust your firewall. Of course, if you don't know, leave it. Otherwise, you can install your antivirus and there is a difference between an antivirus and anti-spyware. Antivirus will simply kill the viruses, but whenever anybody wanted to spy you, wanted to watch you through a separate software, it's called a spyware, for which we need to have another software called anti-spyware. That costs only thousands of rupees. Don't hesitate to buy. Regularly update your computer with the latest security patches. That is, your operating system has to be updated periodically. Otherwise, it will be very, very difficult for you. People have a tendency to have the internet permanently in their PC As and when they come and they open the system and do that one. That kind of a practice should be stopped with. Whenever you don't use internet, log out. Again, if you want, you can log in and then operate. Don't allow the internet to hang always. That will give a way for the hackers to come into your system through the network. So disconnect internet when not in use. Then other people will have this. Say, for example, I am using a Facebook in the mobile. After I finishes my work, I have to log out from the Facebook. Generally, people tend to do it. They simply close the mobile and come out. That means the login which I made into the Facebook is still alive. So that will give way for someone to enter it. So every time you complete your online banking session, log out, then shut down. There are two types of keyboards are available. One is a physical keyboard, another is a virtual keyboard. If you are using a physical keyboard, there is a possibility that a keylogger software may be in your system. How it comes to you? Because you might have clicked a message or a mail where the link is there. That link might have injected that particular keylogger into your system. So when the keylogger is in your system, keylogger is a software. If it is in your system, whatever key that you are pressing, if I press G, B, F, automatically it records G, O, G, L, E. So automatically it takes Google. So that keylogger system, whatever you type out, the username, password, everything is stored there, and it will go to the person who has sent that spyware. So it is better you use a virtual keyboard. A virtual keyboard is not enabled. Find out how to enable and make this sound. When you make it out, this virtual keyboard gets changed every time. Here you can see A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, E. Like that, a standard pattern of key is there. But here, first time if you can see here, Q, W, C, or T, Y, U will be there. Next time it will be definitely something else. So always use virtual keyboard. Make sure you are using official mobile banking application. If you are having account with ICICI Bank or Indian Bank or State Bank of India, you have to download only the application, official application of the bank. You have to go to specific sites and get it done. Make sure you are using official mobile banking application and not a duplicate one. You may not be knowing it whether it's a duplicate or a real one. So it is better you have to go to a restricted site like Google Play or iTunes, etc. Avoid using public Wi-Fi to transact, because already we told you. But besides that, the Bluetooth and the GPS features in the smartphone always disabled. Whenever you want, only the particular time you use it, and then don't forget to disable. These are the back entry through which these hackers can enter into your system. If your mobile phone is at service center or repair center, you have given this mobile for repair. Before handing over, please clear your browsing history, temp file, temporary file, cache file, and also block your mobile app. Because when the phone is with somebody else, they can go through this browsing history. They can use your mobile banking application and do harm to you. How to do it? This has been given on the right hand side. You can have this browsing history, cookies, caches. You have to clear it before handing over. Do not save confidential information. People have the tendency to save PIN number, password, account number, certified CVV numbers on the back of your mobile, in your credit card or debit card. All these numbers are very valuable number. You are not supposed to save in your mobile, because if you lose your mobile or somebody has access into your mobile, they can take out these particulars, misuse it. So don't save in your mobile. I find a lot of students leave their mobile phone unattended, either on the table or somewhere. Note that this is very, very dangerous. Because if you happen to hand over a mobile to some culprits, or if he happens to have access to your mobile phone, he can inject a spyware into a system within a fraction of seconds. So don't leave your phone unattended. So also don't go give your phone to unknown persons. Protect your phone with a passcode. There are different methods, or there either is a pattern or a password. Whatever it may be, you can use it. But there is one issue that you have to remember. Suppose if you go on your way, you met with an accident, your phone is fell down. The people have come here to help you. They admit you in the hospital. They wanted to inform your parents or your relatives. When they take out the phone, they find that it is locked. They are not in a position to see your home number. So for that, what you can do is, there is a provision in the mobile. Whenever you lock the phone, you can also have the option of an urgent contact emergency number that will be scrolling. Even if the phone is locked, somebody has taken the phone, the scrolling will be there. It will say that in case of emergency, please contact. So that will enable them to contact you. So your phone is also safe. But unfortunately, if you met with something and you are not in a position to inform anybody, the neighbor can inform your relatives and make it out. Do not download mobile application from unknown sources. Always prefer the standard Google Play Store or Apple iTunes. Use official application store only. Don't download any application from any link or any information. Do not click any URL in text messages, which we have already told you. When you get a message with hypertext enabled messages, if you click it, it will take you to the particular URL. So it is always better. Don't click, not only in the mobile, not only in the email, but also in the mobile. Don't do it. Log off after using the mobile banking application instead of merely closing it. Generally, people have the tendency simply close that one without log off. The example I gave you, whether it's a Facebook or any other application which you are using it, say for you are using your health application, once it is over, you have to log off first before closing your phone. Update your mobile application with the security features. People will have an interest to update or download any new application, but they are not bothered about their operating system and browser items, which are all more important. So you can see from the right hand side, my apps and games options is there. Updates on click is there. Periodically go there and click the important which you are using, whatever application you are using, update. Sometime we might have downloaded some application which was in need only for one time or two times. Afterwards, we have never used that. So such a kind of an application, you find out and delete it. Only those applications which you are using then and there you do it. Suppose you wanted to see the direction, either east, north or west, there is an application. You download it at the time when you need it. When you don't need it, after your purpose is solved, delete that application. It not only reduces your space, but also have a opportunity for the culprit to come into the system. So unutilized, if you can see anyone who are using app, only 4 or 5 apps we are daily using. All other apps we don't normally use. All those apps you remove it. You can download whenever you want. Install anti-malware, antivirus software on your smartphone and keep it updated. I have already told you the difference between antivirus software and anti-malware software is there. People generally install antivirus software, but they don't do anti-malware. Please install both. And what are all malware? You can say one is a spyware. That means anyone can spy you. The other one is keylogger, which I told you, that your entry, whatever you are entering in your system, it is recorded and sent to them. Next one is a remote access. This enable the other person to take over your system. Example is AnyDesk, TimeViewer, KYC update. All these software are called remote access software, which are containing some malware and enable the other person to take over your system. So it is always have anti-virus, anti-malware. So I have already told you this AnyDesk. TeamViewer is such an example. You can see from here, allow remote control, control remote. So I have a control over your system by sharing this user ID or this password with me. If I type out this password here, I will get the control of your system. I can operate from my home, and your system, whether it's a PC or a mobile, it is under my control. I can move all items in your system. So this is called a remote control software, which you should not hold in your system. Never respond to call messages asking personal and confidential information. Generally, no banker will ask you all these things in over phone. People tend to do all these things: date of birth, last name, mother's maiden name, user ID, OTP, ATM PIN, CVV, card detail, PAN, Aadhaar detail. These are all your blood. These are all your oxygen. Please do not share these items with somebody. They can get through this kind of information which they are asking is called phishing. Some a week back, a new type of technique is being followed by these culprits. What they are doing now, they call you and ask you whether your vaccination is over. Have you done vaccination? You say yes. No, it is not been updated in the website. It has to be updated. Please be on the line. I am updating. Then he will ask you some details from you, and OTP also will come to you. You will share the OTP with them. Actually, he is not updating your vaccination site. He is phishing or wishing the detail from you by way of OTP. When the OTP is being shared with him, he is operating through a bank account. That bank sends a OTP to your mobile, and without knowing that, because he is asking a OTP for vaccination, you share that OTP, automatically your bank account is compromised. So this, every time these culprits, they are very intelligent. They only do this, identify, find out some kind of loopholes. Subsequently, only this technologist or the cybercrime experts will find a solution for it. So please remember not to share any information through phone or through mobile or through mail. Okay, now let me stop at this stage. I wanted to have some interaction with you. We have seen so far the tips for your internet banking and mobile banking. Before going to this debit card, credit card, and password, let me have a small interaction with you so that I can find out any doubt or anything you have so far in this area. Hello.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Any
Students,
doubt?
if you have, this is time for your discussion and interactions, ma. If you have any doubts regarding banking sectors, you can ask to sir.
Whatever we discussed so far is related to the banking, which we are doing through this internet and as well as mobile. These are the area where it will take your bank account. It will take all your money from your bank account. It will sabotage your reputation also. So when we are doing a safe banking, we must know all these do's and don'ts, which we discussed. If you have got any doubt, if you come across any such instance in your life, you can either share or you can ask questions.
Students, are you hearing, ma?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Otherwise, post your queries to the chat box also, ma. Because some of the students having some mic issues, I think so. So through the chat box also, you can ask your queries.
It's about 76 people have logged in. So no one has got doubt. Either I have to come to a conclusion that everything is understandable to them or otherwise. Anyway.
So no doubt, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, I will go ahead with the remaining area. The third area is debit card and credit card. In a day-to-day life, we are using this card for multi-purposes. Without knowing the seriousness of it, we are very negligent. That's why this session is coming to you. Upon receiving the welcome kit, normally when you apply for a debit card or a credit card, a welcome kit will come in a closed cover. It contains the card, credit card or debit card with the ATM pin or instructions or even checkbook. Sometime it comes. So whenever that welcome kit comes, please ensure that it is not tampered. And if it is tampered, immediately inform the bank and hand over the cover to them. Because there is a possible somebody might have taken the details of it. And another one, it is always instructed by the bank to sign on the back of the card. Normally, we tend to not to do it. Please keep it in mind. Please sign on the back of it. Next one. As soon as it comes, it is coming along with the pin. Default, the pin is there. The humble advice is immediately change the pin, and every 6 months you change the pin. The reason is, I'll tell you the fag end in the password section comes. I will tell you why we are asking you to change periodically. I will tell you. But now please make it a point that pin has to be changed periodically. If you don't change it, anyone can have access to it. And some people have the tendency to write down ATM pin on the back of the debit card or credit card. It is more dangerous. So what is the purpose of having this card? This card has two authenticity. One is you are inserting the card. Second one is you are entering the pin. The ATM machine first identify whether the card is a genuine card. Second one, it identify whether the owner is owning the card or not. So to identify whether the owner is using the card or not, the PIN number is an identification. So if you write the PIN number on the back of card, it amounts to what? Anyone who holds the card can do the frauds at any point of time. I will explain one practical example which happened some years back, which I handled this case. One person has gone to office. While going office, he lost his wallet. In the wallet, he was having his this ATM card, and also he has lost his mobile phone. He was not aware of this. He went to office, started working. In the meanwhile, the person who has got hold of this wallet and the mobile phone find out the card. So he wanted to use the card. He wanted to insert the card. At the time, the machine was asking for a ATM PIN number. Since he was having the mobile number, he was searching the mobile. It was unlocked. So he gone through it. Something has written wife and name, and the particular her number, phone number also is there. Immediately, this guy called that girl, the lady, as if her husband speaks, and asked for a PIN number, saying that I have forgotten the PIN number. This lady was very busy with her some other day-to-day activities in the home. She was not even verifying the voice. Since the call has come from her husband's phone number, immediately he told the PIN number. So the culprit has got the PIN number from her wife, from his wife, and the card is with him. So with that, he has swindled the money. This is revealed only in the later night when husband came to home. He found out that I kept my wallet in the home itself. Then wife said, no, only today morning you asked about PIN number and all. Then only they came to know that they have been cheated. So what I want to tell is, Whenever you receive a phone call from somebody, without ascertaining the seriousness and correctness, genuineness of it, don't share information. And don't write the number also on the back of it. Do not part your ATM pin or card with anyone. This occurs. One such case occurs in our bank. A very reputable customer came and shouted at us saying that my card is being misused, my account is debited like this. Then we found out that the account debit was made with his ATM card. He said, I have not given this card to anybody. I am having my card with me. But subsequently, we find out from the CCTV machine that his driver used to come whenever he drives a vehicle along with him. He used to hand over the card to his driver. Driver goes inside and withdraw the money and hands over to the owner. You know what the password or the PIN number they were having? The car number was a PIN number. Then only he recollects, yes, sir, I have wrongly has handed over the card to my driver. I asked him to withdraw, but he himself have withdrawn extra money, which was not knowing. So please don't give any card to anybody, even to your friends and relatives. Do not seek assistance from strangers, particularly when you are in the ATM room. Some volunteers may come and pretend as if they want to help you. Avoid engaging in any kind of conversation because these people are culprits. Do not leave transaction slip. When you do it, some debit entry or rejection entry, whatever it may be, some slip will come. No, majority of the people leave the slip there itself. That is a clue for the culprits. So don't leave the slip. You take the slip along with you. After you finish the transaction via ATM, do not forget to press this cancel button. Once you have done your balance inquiry, once you have done your withdrawal, once you have done your all transaction, you have taken out the card, fine. You ensure that card is kept in your packet. Then don't forget to cancel the button. Because any entry that you have entered before logging out, maybe in the short memory, someone who comes next to you can misuse it. There are people who are waiting for it. So don't do it. And another one, whenever you type out the PIN number, strictly speaking, no one is allowed to enter into the ATM when somebody is operating. Only one person is allowed. But nowadays, you know, in a room, 3 or 4 ATMs are serially placed. So some 3-4 persons are standing. And they have a tendency to look at you. That's called shoulder surfing. See the photo which is being given here. They will show, just surf you and see what type of a PIN you are typing. Because of 4 letters. And the majority of the people don't know typing. And generally they do it with a single finger. So it is easy for them to find out which number you are pressing, which password you are typing. So always keep your number within yourself and avoid typing in presence of others. Do not conduct any transaction if you find any unusual device attached to ATM. If you go to ATM, at time, some extra fittings are there. You see on the right hand side, if you can see, this is a card inserting hole. Above that, another card inserting hole is inserted. Actually, this is a machine which takes the details of our card and send to the person who has kept it. So if you find that any extra fittings are there, don't use the ATM. Another example, this is a keyboard. Actually, the original keyboard is below, but whereas the top above is a duplicate keyboard. So this will send the messages to somebody else. So if you find, that doesn't mean that every time you have to go and pull or push the machine and all. If you find some kind of extra fittings in your ATM, don't use those machines. And if you happen to go abroad, once you go abroad and return, invariably change the PIN, because this kind of activities are happening very frequently or more in foreign countries. After transacting at merchandise or outlet or the shop, restaurant, ensure that card you have given is returned to you is indeed yours. When you hand over the card and he inserts it, you put the PIN number, he takes your card and gives some other card. Majority of the cases, we don't see whether it is card. We simply, whenever he hands over the card, we put the card inside our packet and come back. Don't do it. Please see whether it is your card. Never give a photocopy of your backside of a card to anyone. Even if you apply for a credit card, don't do it. And people generally have the tendency to give any number of Xerox copies of your PAN number, Aadhaar number, driving license, just like a bit notice they are issuing, with which a lot of problems can be created. Please don't give unnecessarily. One more suggestions I will also give you. Whenever you go for a shopping, generally the shop owner will ask your email ID and phone number. Don't share this information with them. You tell them that I don't want any kind of marketing things from you. I don't want to give my phone number. I am using my card for your payment, or I am paying cash in my payment. I am not interested in giving my phone number and email ID, because these are the things that are saleable. The shop owner sells each information to the culprits and gets money. Those culprits misuse these numbers, misuse this email ID, and use for hacking your bank account. And if your card is lost, inform the bank immediately, because 24/7 helplines are there. And as soon as you receive the card, note down the details of a card in your home, so that immediately you can inform what is a card number and all. Destroy. Whenever you have a new card, the old card and all, we don't keep it, for heaven's sake. Destroy it. Even the statement of account, the transaction slips, etc. I told you, you have to take it from the ATM room, but don't leave it just like that. Destroy it properly. Avoid using your card unauthorized payment gateways. See, whenever you are using the card, you have to see whether it is a secured website. But there are certain websites, generally people tend to go for this gaming website, lottery website, pornography websites and all. These websites invariably are being used by the hackers and culprits. And try to avoid using cards in these sites. If your postal address is changed, inform the bank. Otherwise, what will happen? Your statement of account will go to somebody else, and that will give a way for doing some frauds. Okay. And before concluding, I wanted to finish with one item that I would say that about password. Password, it should not be a passing word. We should have a minimum of 8 characters. Why 8 characters? Because if any password which is less than 8 characters, there are some machines which will work out based on permutation and combination, and it can find out the password of your card within a period of 7 days or 10 days. If it is more than 8 characters, it will take at least a year or so. So by that time, we have a habit of changing the password every 6 months or every 3 months. Then we can escape from this machine type of tracking your PIN number or password. So always use password with 8 characters. And you have to use capital letters and small letters combination. You should also use numbers and special characters like @ hash, etc. But don't write all those things anywhere. You may also ask me, sir, you are asking me to take more than 8 letters, and also with one capital letter, one small letter, one number, one special character, and you also ask me not to write anywhere. And I have 4 bank accounts, I have 3 email accounts, I have 2 operations account in my college or in my office. How to remember all? Yes. For banking transaction account, you should always have a separate password, and you should not use one password of one bank to another password of the bank. Even if one bank account is hacked, at least you can save from other bank account. How to remember it? How to use this? I suggest one method. You can write out a sentence. You can say, for example, Vinita is completing her degree course in the year 2021. So she can write, I have passed my degree in 2022. I, first letter, have H, passed P. at special character, degree D, examination E. So 5 letters over, then at 2021. Like that you can make it out. So the first letter of your sentence is a password for you. In between you are adding some special character at or something, and you also add the year or month or whatever it may be. Or I got married. Write down. Like that you make some sentences. I got a scolding from my professor on first day on that such some letter, some words you write, some sentence you write, and take out the first letter of each sentence and put some extra word numbers like this and have that as a password. So it is easy for you to remember, but very difficult for the machine or somebody to crack it. So with that, I wanted to say that I have uploaded with so much of information about mobile banking, about internet banking, about debit card, credit card, about the password. If you are not having about all these things, at one point of time, you will be doomed. Your money will be taken from your hand, your bank, and your wallet will be made empty. Earlier days, if at all we lose the only money available in our wallet. Even the bank side also, if any dacoits come, only the money in the particular branch will be lost. But in the digital world, whether it's a bank or the customer, they will lose the entire money. So please keep this in mind. Have a wonderful, safe banking. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We had a great opportunity to hear your thoughts and ideas. This is surely going to help us, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not the utter words, but to live by them. Now, I welcome Ms. Kaushalya Devi, ma'am, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, PA, to give a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Ma. Good afternoon to one and all present here. Just a thank you is a mighty powerful prayer, says it all. I, on behalf of KGCAS, would like to take this opportunity to place and record our hearty thanks to Mr. Nagarajan Subbu, retired Indian Bank Senior Manager, Freelance Consultant Cyber Security, for the talk on safe banking on this occasion. Thank you, sir. I express my gratitude to Dr. B. Vanitha Ma'am, Secretary, and Dr. J. Ratnamala Ma'am, Principal, for being with us. Thank you, Ma'am. I thank our Vice Principal, Dr. N. Ishwaran, for motivating us and guiding in all our activities. Thank you, sir. I'd also thank our beloved HOD, Dr. R. Kanchana, for her guidance and moral support. Thank you, ma'am. Gratitude makes sense of your past, brings peace for today, and creates vision for tomorrow. Yes, once again, I thank each and everyone present here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Once again, I thank everyone to making this session a success. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. See you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.